Hey, what is up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster, Raph Esparza, coming to you on... No, sorry. That's just Bruce Buffer and the terrible jacket. That's not important. We are coming to you live right now to make history on the very first telecast of the UFC on ABC. We have to say, this is a historic moment. This is an incredible moment for the UFC. Their team... It's really hard to shit on that sort of stuff, but I will tell you this. We will do our best. We're going to be watching along with you guys. Hopefully you brought a beer. I know I have. I have a glass ready to go. About to fill it up in just a second, but I always like to say thank you to you guys. Thank you to our sponsors, aka Marshall X. If you guys aren't following them, oh, God. No, that's not good. Marshall X, formerly known as Nogi BJJ Gear. Go ahead and give them some love, you guys. They're good folks, good apparel, good gear. If you use the promo code GRAPPLINGHOUR15, you save 15% off of whatever you put in your cart. And right now, we are about to get underway. I will tell you guys who we are seeing first and foremost in front of us, and that is Paulie Soriano versus Dusko Torovic. And right now, you have Soriano over in the black trunks and Torovic in the red trunks. It has been an interesting night, and both these guys understand the historic nature of MMA back on a network that they are trying to go in with some savage knockouts. So as we mentioned, Soriano in the black trunks, Torovic in the red trunks. And Soriano, I mean, he definitely has a little bit of that height advantage, and he's trying to utilize it to the best of his ability thus far in. So, the way we do this is, if you guys give us a like and a share on your Facebook, we give you a toast, just like we do those fighters who get finishes within regulation. It is a very simple process, and it is one that we like to do to kind of reward those fighters who get knockouts or submissions within the 15 minutes they are allotted in their fight time. If they don't get one, you know, it's not the end of the world, but we like to be a giving group here, and we're so glad you're joining us here today. It is going to be 5 epic fights, the main card of which, I mean, the main event is going to be badass. So keep an ear and an eye out for all things UFC on ABC Uno. Ooh, Soriano catches Torovic's kick, and it sends him a little bit reeling. I will say this about Torovic. He's a little under pressure here, but he is using his distance very nicely. He's been very, very cautious, and there he gets clipped on it. Looking at this is so incredible. And so, just as you guys know, if you send us comments, we plug them into the broadcast, like this from our good friend, Christopher James Velez. Thank you very much by saying, let's go. Let's go indeed. We're here. It finally happened. History is happening right in front of us. A little bit later, we should expect to maybe see or hear from our good friend, one Dan Hubler, who has some betting line suggestions for you guys. Again, as a reminder, give us a like and a share. We will give you a toast on air. It's that simple. So that's what we got planned for you guys. Hopefully, you guys are having a fantastic afternoon. This is very strange that we're also seeing fights this early. We've been on since about 9:40 a.m. and you know, the other part of the card has been so-so. Hello, Raph and Producer Kelly. Producer Kelly is actually not here now. Producer Kelly normally on a night is somewhere in the vicinity, but she is out running errands with the dog, so it is a pure Raph Esparza on his own broadcast. But it is good to see you, Dane. Appreciate you, bud. Oof, nice clip there by Soriano. Apparently, Dana is still keeping us waiting with the news. So, weird. Everybody's been waiting. They were kind of teasing it as if it was going to start the broadcast, but anybody who works in television would tell you, you don't start with that. So, could have told you that one right up top. Ooh! Soriano clips down Torovic, who is in trouble. He's not able to cover up right now. But he does make his way back up, only to get knocked down again. He is butt scooting backwards as fast as possible. Soriano trying to do his best, now going inside of the guard, which may not be the best of plans, because Torovic has a very solid breakdown of the pressure here, except he sideswipes it, gets out of the way, and now you're seeing Torovic use what was already considered a very bad opportunity for him into an almost solid offense. That's pretty exciting there. Good work there, kids. 54 seconds left in round number 1, and we have already gotten an excellent start to our day. I am having a blast. I hope you are too. Oof! I think Soriano has knocked out Torovic at least 3 times, and Torovic has continuously come back up, and this time Soriano electing to let him stand back up, and Herb Dean kind of asking him like, hey dude, do you know where you are right now? Maybe we should have a ref see you, or a doctor see you, but instead looks like he's looking for a mouth guard here. Oh no. They're still letting him just find his mouthpiece while also resting. Yep, you see the mouthpiece leave. Falls all the way down into that weird nebulous. Or as Ben Folks writes, what a fortuitous falling of the mouth guard. Oh my god. Yeah, Torovic, yeah, he's seen enough here. Herb Dean stopping it, and Torovic seeming to kind of contest this a little bit, but more so just very sad that it happened. That's a fucking rough thing all around. I mean, dude, I felt like he got knocked out 4 times, so I kind of understand it. Eek. Well, at least we get to start with the cheers, so that's good. But yeah, dude, every time he looked like he was trying to matrix out of some of these strikes, and to one Soriano's credit, he cut the angles where he'd lose part of anywhere to back up, and it just would back him over to the cage, and at which point he had a pretty straight shot to continuously do this. Yeah, I think Herb was generous with the 4 other times that he's essentially knocked down. And Ben Folks follows up by saying, well, I guess it could only help so much. Fair. What a great moment. Soriano. Man. Well, Soriano has now etched himself into the history books as one of the first people, or the first person to get a knockout in the UFC on ABC. Good for them, man. All right. That is what we have starting with us right now. And it says, what a weird end to a fight. Yeah, that was weird. Not going to lie. I don't know how we get around that one. So we will be toasting him. We're going to wait for him to potentially talk with John Anik. I believe that's what they're going to do. They still have 4 more fights, so... Plus, the decision has to be made. I'm just curious as to if Dana does it the middle of the fights or if he waits right before the main event. Like, when they said they were going to start the broadcast with that, I was like, there's no way they do that. Like, absolutely zero way they start the broadcast with that. Like, Khabib is big, but not that kind of a big, or at least big enough where you have to protect him by putting it toward the end of the fights. Because that's what's doing it. The hype is building it rather than the actual interest. Because when Khabib retired, most of us go, okay, that works. Man, I really wish he could do that one fight. But, you know, family. I get it. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, I don't know, but I want to see him fight. If I want to see him fight, I'm going to make him fight. That'll do it. The fuck is this? Does that dude just do a fucking weird-ass dance with his fanny pack? No, not even a fanny pack. Just a weird ass grab your shorts and spin them around like that. Was fucking weird. All right, Annex interviewing him. Let's get some details of what that is. Soriano says, not bad for a year off. And says he's very emotional right now. And he said he hit him with some good shots, and he was kicking him. Well, friends, I can tell you this right now. We've been waiting for Dan, but I should be inclined to tell you that one of his risks, at alls, if you would, did not really seem to come through. Oh my goodness, this thing is too big. There we go. All right, so the first one that Dan had over here, which was Soriano Torovic starts round 2, is -260. You bet 5 to win 192. I'm glad that we didn't put that one up. Soriano basically said he's got a wedding bag at home. Good for him. Oh, wow. Yeah, I'm going to see if I can get that kid. He's a giant goofball, so hopefully we'll be able to bring him back on. All right, so a little bit later in the evening, Dan was also telling you Buckley at -3.5. He says, take that action, bet 5 to win 270. And Lee Polzanovillo starts round 2, -295, bet 5 to win 169. And Cater and SNA, a.k.a. Get That Money, at -140. He says, bet 5 to win 357. So hopefully we'll hear from him and get a little bit more clarification as to his thoughts on that. But good for him, man. Look at this. Soriano getting a big win over on this side. All right, as we like to remind people, if you give us a like and a share, we give you a toast on air. And I am very excited and happy to do that for the first few toasts that we have already gotten on our broadcast. So allow me to walk you through how this works. We are going to do a toast right now to our friends over on our broadcast who have given us a like and a share. And we're also going to do one for Soriano. And he seems like a blast. Otherwise known as Puna 185, fighting out of Las Vegas. Let's go. All right, the first of which I see right now. I see a toast is in order for our good friend Christopher James Velez. But first, this toast is actually going to be given to the man of the hour. The man who was too bad to let a historic win on ABC go by. This cheers goes on out to Budahi Soriano. Hey, dude. Listen, dude. I was stoked to see you get that finish. I saw you being precise with your strikes. I saw you being very calculated, very, very well diverse in what you were doing. And I think you knocked them out 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 times before they ended up stopping it. But that didn't make it any less impressive to us. Cheers to you. Cheers on whatever wedding it is that you're going over and fixing up. But we wish you the best, my friend. And come do an interview. I think you're good people, so we'd love to have you on the show at some point. Our toast to one Soriano. Cheers to you, bud. Oh, look at this. We have a call coming in just a second, so that means we need to go ahead and do a very quick little note over here, which means it's time for you guys to get a little bit more information on how the betting line should go. Let's go to our segment called One Risk It All.
Bitch better have my money. Bitch better have my money. Pay me what you owe me. Bitch better have my money.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is always a delight, a thrill. Also, I got to put this on here before he brings on because I did not cut this before he was on here. That's the true professional that I am. So this is me vamping for a few seconds before I have it there. But here to talk to you about the best bets to make, our good friend, one, Dan Hubert. Dan, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing pretty good. I would have been doing better if that fight went another 12 seconds. That would have been cool because we did We did lose that first one, but it was pretty close. If you read my analysis already, I kind of said in that first fight I was going to be crossing my fingers for the whole 5 minutes. I thought it was pretty likely that one was going to go into round 2, and the fight itself got about 12 seconds away from that happening. So sometimes that happens. You can't really do anything about it.
I mean, it was a pretty cool knockout though, so it's kind of one of those ones where you don't feel as bad because it is pretty cool to look at. So you live a little bit in by proxy of it. It looks like they're doing the announcement though, Dan. So Anik is giving us the setup to it all, which is at the very end.
No.
So right now, he's doing the setup. Dana's got a weird look in his eye. What is the result? I think he looks a little like he didn't pull it off.
I hate all this, man. It's flashbacks to the whole LeBron James circuit and making it. Just fucking put it on Twitter already. Like,
I know.
I'm surprised Ariel Helwani hasn't leaked it yet.
So Dana's basically saying, I think he made an emotional decision. And then he said, of course, take your time. And Dana's saying, all right, the way he feels is he's accomplished everything. So, McGregor Poirier. Oh, God. We don't have a decision. We have an update. Wow. This is so stupid.
Yeah, I'm over it.
If somebody, like, what the fuck are they going to deliver? It's a fight. They either win the opportunity to fight for a belt or they don't.
Yeah, I think the real question is how much the UFC delivers on his paycheck is whether or not, you'd be interested in coming back. That's what it sounds like to me, saying that he wants to see what happens and, maybe sets it up for a big fight. I mean, who really makes it big fights in the UFC? So.
This is the dumbest news that I think we could get. So, I like that Dana's like, if these guys do what I think they're gonna do, then we got a thing.
Yeah, this is one of those like an email would have been sufficient type of announcement. You don't gotta do all this, man. Come on.
That's amazing. All right, well, Joaquin Buckley's about to make his way out in a few. Why don't I go ahead and pull up what your placard was that you sent to me, because I like it. I want to hear more about it. I will say one thing that's gotten weird about the program that I use is before it would kind of give you an automatic start to how it's supposed to look. And now whenever I drop it in, it just makes it like 10 times bigger than it's supposed to be. So Dan, walk me through a little bit of what we're seeing right here. Our next fight is obviously Buckley involved. What do you mean by this?
Well, with this one, I took Buckley minus 3.5. It's the only fight on the card I'm comfortable really giving up points on, and I'll kind of talk about that in just a moment. But with this, I think we have a pretty clear setup fight for Buckley. This is kind of another opportunity for him to possibly score some devastating knockout. Obviously, his opponent is on the slide coming into this fight on a 3-fight losing streak. Buckley's on the rise, looking really good. Even in that fight he lost against Holland, he was throwing with volume. He was throwing with tons of power the entire fight. So, looking at a guy like Buckley, you see all the muscle mass on him. You don't think this guy can really throw like that for a full 15 minutes. But so far, he's shown us that he can do that. And so in this fight, I do like him to potentially get a late finish. I could see that happening. But, in the event, because his opponent is so durable, that this is just an ass whooping from bell to bell. Buckley minus 3.5 is the play instead of Buckley inside of the distance. So we're taking $5 to win 2.7. Hopefully this one hits. Obviously the last one almost there. This one's going to get there.
When you look at Joaquin Buckley, do you feel that the hype is legitimate? Because sometimes people get that one knockout and then that's kind of what they're defined by, and that's really all we really know them by. What leads you to believe that he is somebody that could be around for a bit.
I mean, what is he? I think he's 26 years old, something like that. He has all the time in the world to make adjustments, to learn from fight to fight. If he has the right people surrounding him, the right people training him, the sky's the limit at this point. He's already off to such a hot start. It's going to kind of just come down it's going to come down to how much growth we see, in him from fight to fight. And so far things look good. And I'm going to continue to bet on him as is until we see something different.
All right, couple quick notes here. Dana White's announcement reminds me of when Jeff Jarrett would make big anticlimactic announcements in Impact Wrestling. And
I don't understand that.
I'll explain it to you in a fucking DM, I'm sure, later. But this one that says, so Khabib basically said, maybe, I guess, depends, I don't know.
Yeah. There was probably a couple things about cheeseburgers in there and just parts of the conversation that got left out. But yeah, it seems like a nothing conversation.
It's just, there's nothing funnier to me than Dana White being like, he was really emotional in that moment. And it's like you aren't? Like, Dana, I'm pretty sure we could ask you what you think that you're going to have for dinner next week, and you might get emotional about it. Just the way that we've seen you talk about most things. So, okay. That's the first thing. We saw the video. He posted the video of the two of them walking into the office, closing the door. The man wasn't emotional. He looked like just fucking, just walking around like, oh, hey, I'm hanging out. He's wearing fucking jeans. He might have been wearing flip-flops. Like, that was what I saw in that video. But it's pretty sad that this is the way that we're having to play this whole thing, because I just always thought, like, I wasn't even giving Khabib shit as much, except for putting it on his mom. I still think that's a shitty thing to do. It'd be like, I would fight, but wish I could. It's like, you're your own man, dude. Like, just don't put that shit on your mom, because then you're gonna get all these people. You're gonna get all these people who send your mom hate mail because they want to see you fight because you're too much of a wuss to say that you just don't want to. Like, that shit bugs me. But I was perfectly fine on being like, Khabib, you want to stay home? I'm fine with that. Stay home. Like, no big deal. We'll move on. And you know what the nice part is? You'll have an untarnished record, which really means something to you. But to the rest of us, I don't know how much I'm going back to watch one of those fights. I just think the record is impressive, but the replay value as a fan is just kind of like, yeah, okay. I mean, he won. Good for him. Awesome. So in terms of a draw of somebody that you have to see fight again, I'm good. You won. Okay, bye, dude.
I love the Mon move. I think it's very much what car salesmen have been using to make as much money as possible for generations. It's not me. I don't want to charge you this much. It's my manager. I gotta go. Let me go talk to my manager real quick. See if I can get you a better deal. I'll be in there fighting for you. Let me come back here. We'll talk in a minute. Same exact thing happened. Like, Dana, I don't want $50 million. It's my mom. My mom said $50 million is it. So I love it. Especially with Dana's comments about CTE and well, sorry, Spencer, it's part of the game. We're gonna test hallucinogenics and see how it helps other people. But he's like, yeah, it's just part of. I hated how he threw in there like guys like us. He said us like he's on the same level. Guys like us. Martial arts, this is part of the game for us. Like, what the fuck? Isn't this guy a Taibo instructor? How the fuck do you know? So I hated that. So I love the fact that he's trying to get as much money as possible. I think if you're a fighter in the UFC, you have to get as much money as possible while minimizing the amount of damage you take to your brain. Absolutely all for it. Use your mom, make as much money as possible.
Fair enough. I would tell you this, though. I think that's probably a tactic I should start using more in interviews. So when people talk to me about the knockouts that they get, I'm gonna be like, man, same, right? Like, people like us, we get knockouts all the time, and a lot of people always ask us about it, and it's just like, dude, I'm tired of being a GIF on the internet of savagely knocking people out. It's tough. It's a tough life. Yeah, anyway.
I wish people would appreciate my fundamentals and not just my highlights.
Amazing. All right, let's go to the second one, because the next one you have here is the Lee Ponzinibbio starting round 2. Now, are you nervous considering that the other one didn't go as planned with starts round 2?
Yeah, I think one of the worst things you can do in gambling in general is like start to let your emotions come your judgment as far as the betting goes. You know, if we were to rewind an hour ago, if I could go back in time an hour ago, I still would have made the Soriano bet going to round two. It's still on paper looked like a fight that's going to go to round two. And even though it got 12 seconds away from getting there, I'm still comfortable with losing that bet. Same thing, if things go differently in the Lee Ponzinibbio fight, I could still be comfortable with making that play. I think both guys are historically very tough, never been knocked out. So this is a situation where you have to factor in all Ponzinibbio's, injuries. He got COVID. He had fought in over 2 years. Do we think he's just going to come in there and starch Lee in under 5 minutes? Probably not, I know Dominic Cruz says ring rest isn't the thing, but, a lot of fighters, they spend the first couple of minutes finding their range, finding their timing. And for a guy who hasn't fought in 2 years, I would guess that he's going to need at least a little bit of time to do that. And when you take a durable guy like Lee on the other side, who I don't think is as technically sound standing up, he throws a lot of more wild striking exchanges. I see that as an opportunity for this to kind of go into the later rounds. Possibly once he starts to get his groove, gets warmed up, we might see a Ponzinibbio finish later in the fight. But I don't think either of these guys can get finished in 5 minutes. Historically, it hasn't been true for either of them.
Fair enough. I do like the idea of always razzing a little bit of Dominic Cruz being like, there is no such thing as ring rust. So I was like, well, you didn't get your title, so like, what do you know?
Yeah, I personally think the ring rust thing has to be at least a little bit of a factor, especially when you consider the fact that, fighting in 2020 / the beginning of 2021 is so different now. I know they have a little bit of a crowd right now, which I think is actually worse than having no crowd at all. I feel like the no crowd at all thing is capable over just a few people. In the earlier fights, there were, extended ground exchanges. It sounded like people were booing in like a high school auditorium, which is like a high school basketball game, which seems totally inappropriate. It's like when there's 10 people booing, you hear every 10 one of those people. It's very rude. So I think the small audience is definitely going to be a factor. I feel like all of these fights now are so different that long layoff definitely is going to matter.
I subscribe to the Mel Brooks form of applause, which is he was telling a story about working on a film, and there's an audience there that just starts politely clapping, and he goes, no. A lot or nothing. No in between. Like, yeah. That's it. And I was like, no, that's essentially how I am too. So when I hear the polite, like, this, I go, fuck off. Don't even.
Yeah. Awkward. It's like you ever been to a high school graduation and the popular kids have like 20 family members like screaming in the bleachers and like trying like freaking out, and then they call someone right after that and like no one knows who that is, so you get that little polite like 3 clap and kind of it's awkward. Like there's how many people are in the audience? Like 10. It's crazy. I don't like it.
Dan, walk us through the last one here, which is, you are not on the Blessed Express today.
I'm not, and part of this has to do with the fact that I feel I don't really know what to expect out of Holloway in this fight. He recently kind of stated that he's no longer sparring in training camps. My question is that because something happened? Was he realizing that it was having a negative impact on him in fights, and now he feels like his brain can't really take that kind of trauma throughout the fight camp? I don't know what it is. What I do know is that he also has historically really gotten big in between fights. Obviously, there was that fight he missed weight at for lightweight, but it was a last minute type of deal. But still, he's all but kind of said that he walks around at like 185. Eric Hawani has said in the past that Max has gotten he's hinted at the fact that Max is a little bit below 200 pounds at some point. The guy gets pretty big. And when you look at him on the scale, the last couple of fights, he's looked terrible, and he looked terrible for this week. He looked like fucking Skeletor out there. You have to imagine that when you combine the fact that he's worried about hurting his brain, sparring, and he's making these dramatic weight cuts, that at some point in his career, it has to, it's gonna have an effect on performance. It has to at some point. And so now we go into a fight where, you know, he had an opponent with very dangerous boxing skills. I would never bet that Max is going to get knocked out, but I would also like never bet that he won't, you know, at this point. As he gets older, I feel like it's something you have to consider. It could happen. And so with Cater fight, I am taking scorecard to action. What that means is if Cater knocks out Holloway, my bet wins. And if it goes to the judges' scorecards, my bet is simply canceled. Because, you know, of course, with a volume striker like Max, you could always see him winning a decision. But I am worried about his physical condition at this point in his career, and whether or not he is actually on a slide, I guess we'll see tonight.
Fair enough. All right. Well, I'm concerned because, listen, you mentioned a few things, but nothing was funnier to me than when you mentioned, I guess in our exchange of, hey, are you doing this tomorrow? And you go, what time? And I was like, it does start at 9 a.m. And I don't have any expectation for you to get up at 9 a.m. However, I need to plan ahead. And you were like, why the fuck is this early? And you did say one thing that you didn't deliver for me on, which is my biggest play will be on all marijuana stocks connected to the Diaz brothers. Where the fuck is that analysis, Dan? Because that's the real shit that people come here to tune in for.
I mean, yeah, that's the real money, guys. You got to get on those. You got to get on those marijuana stuff. It was actually interesting. I have a stock in TRTC, a marijuana company. It's just a penny stock, but it like almost doubled in value on the same day the UFC. They were no longer testing, and you know, I think some of that obviously has to do with just the stock market in general, and the way the federal government looks like they're moving towards, you know, regulation and all these other things. So I think that announcement definitely helped, though. I feel like marijuana stocks are, you know, it's a good time. It looks like we're going that way. And if the Diaz brothers are coming back, like that was big news. You know, the same day, all three announcements, you know, marijuana stocks are just looking up.
And I enjoy the fact that the Diaz brothers keep getting talked about, because to me, I just think, like, how sad is it that you have such a large infraction base that it's like, dude, how many years did we miss of Diaz brotherness because of these dumb rules?
Yeah, and there's an argument too. Who was the fighter? It was Journey Newsom recently on social media. You know, he's one of the fighters who recently got popped for marijuana and had his fight turned to a no contest. You know, there's an argument there. Like, if this is happening, give those guys their fucking wins back. You know, just because they were smoking weed a couple of weeks before the fight doesn't mean that there's, you know, they didn't win that fight. So I do kind of agree with Journey on that argument. I just don't see it actually happening. It's kind of a wishful thinking type of situation.
Well, we still have Dana White, who, instead of paying fighters more, has spent most of his time trying to amend John Jones's record. So I feel like that's one of the funnier things that you see Dana White go, you know, I'm putting a lot of time into this. I don't think it's going to work. And I was like, or, you know, you could work on other shit that kind of matters right now. But, you know, Dana, you're one of the fighters too. So you probably are just fighting for what is true to your kind.
Exactly. I mean, if the Tito Ortiz thing would have happened, I think he could have thrown that. He could have used that us a little bit in a stronger tone. But, you know, that fight never happened. So I don't know anything about fight history other than the cardio kickboxing.
I still think that's one of the greatest storylines that never happened. And oh no, we have a finish here.
I missed it.
Yeah, I did.
It's definitely the wrong guy on the mat.
I don't think he's trying to say anything, DC. Shut the fuck up. I think he was just trying to walk over to him to just be like, dude, you won. God, DC's such a drama queen. Like, DC's somebody who's seeing this image of Buckley trying to get up and waddle on over to him. And he's like, he's trying to tell him he's okay. Ooh, good head kick. Well, this didn't age well. This comment from Dane Donovan that says this is going to be another knockout from Buckley. Maybe you just got your articles wrong and your verb agreement here, but it was a knockout and it did involve Buckley. It just happened to him or at him. And it says, wow, I stand corrected. I also got a note here from G Baby who said, I might see a lot of UFC fighters at work now. Good. And then, holy shit, that was crazy. Dan, I don't know, man. Well, have you already started your new year with people doing the betting? And what did it feel like to get back to that world this week, sir?
It was kind of nice to have the last 3 weeks off and not have to do anything, just play Xbox and hang out. But, I am glad to have my day consumed once again by combat sports. Always the surprises are obviously, what makes the sport exciting. Like, no one walking into this fight Alessio had any chance of winning this fight. I think we thought Buckley was going to starch him. And so the fact that he, turned the table and knocked him out cold, pretty much, is why we watch the sport. If it was so predictable, we wouldn't watch it, and it's what makes it interesting, and so you can't really be mad at that.
Not at all. I will ask if you would be willing to give us the toast to, what is this? This is what had happened was I spelled Di Chicorico wrong. Yes, of course. Yeah. That's exactly what happened there. Do you mind doing the toast to Senor De Chorizo?
Yeah, as I kind of just said, I didn't think you were going to get the win tonight. I am very shocked, as many people probably are. I'm sure you are not shocked. And, as I mentioned, I think that this is what makes the sport exciting. So thank you for the exciting moment on a Saturday afternoon at 12:50 p.m. Cheers.
I have to say, there's nothing quite as good as having someone near and dear to you, like a wife, look at you and say, "Are you drinking this early?" And I said, "Yeah, I guess so. I guess them's the rules." I will say, though, I did have water to begin the toast at the very beginning. Fortunately, nobody got knocked out there or submitted, so had the time to do this. Dan, I want to say thank you so much for stopping in today, my friend. We will catch up with you. I don't think we're doing one of these on Wednesday.
No, Wednesday is a teaching day for me, so I'm probably going to be a bit busy.
Well, I'm also at work, but I'm just letting you know the next time we see you will be for next Saturday at a normal time for the UFC 257. Can you give us, before you go, any kind of last thought that you want us to think about this week? Don't tell us any predictions, but tell us what we maybe should be considering going into UFC 257 that we maybe aren't doing right now.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really big on that fight. Obviously, I think the entire world's going to watch that fight. One of the things I would really like to stress is if you are like illegally streaming a fight, don't fucking tell Dana White about it. Like, that's how you get those websites shut down, you idiots. Like, what are you doing? You're just poking the bear. He's coming out all pissed off saying that he's going to have people stream, like crying and begging and all this other shit. Leave Dana the fuck alone. If you want to go stream fights, go do it on your own. It's a big fight. I know everyone can't afford it. The economy is in the shit right now. Just don't fucking say anything to Dana White about it, okay? Just leave it out and move on. That's all I got to say.
I think those are strong words to end on, especially at a time when I love the fact that the UFC is congratulating themselves on the back and they go, "We've done a really good job this year. We've led the way. Also, give us $5 more per pay-per-view, you fucking broke-ass bitches. Also, We're coming for your streamers." And I'm like, yo, I know that you think that you're helping us in an economy that's depreciated, but, dick move, Dana. Can we revisit this a little bit later, dude?
Yeah, Dana. Spencer Fisher can't walk a straight line, dick. Worry about other things right now.
Well, that's a perfect time to go and sign off. Dan, we appreciate you. We look forward to a great 2021 with you, sir. You have a great rest of your day, sir.
You guys, bye.
All right, peace. Dan Hubler, everybody, what a great moment to go and start our broadcast. We have 2 knockouts. We've already done 2 toasts. The question is, don't we have to do more for you guys? Because you guys, if you give us a like and a share, we give you a toast on air. That is as simple as it works. And I am so happy to say we have a couple that we need to go ahead and do. AKA one with, I believe it's Christopher James Velez. We got to do a toast to him. And then a toast on over to Adam Woods. So those are company... sorry. It says, what is the beer of the fight companion? Today is real simple. I'm actually going Mango Cart from Golden Road because I am in that mood. I needed something light because I'm going to be a functional adult in about 2 hours, so I should probably have my wits about me. So that's what's happening right now. Some old school Golden Road. And also, it just kind of feels delightful to have this at like 1 p.m. on a Saturday. Because there are some days where drinking that sort of stuff, bad idea. I like that MMA Fighting says, what did you think of the big Khabib Nurmagomedov announcement? The answer is simple. Whack. Boo. You know what Dana White did with that one? Dana White did the, hey, Dana, did you finish the group project? No. You don't, no, we didn't. We didn't finish. We need a few more days. Can we get an extension on this? Christopher James Velez says, was it big? They didn't say anything. That's because there is nothing. They sold you wolf tickets, everybody. I can't wait to see the memes on this, though. That is the unfortunate part about doing things like this, is that I don't really get a chance to get a stab at the memes. But, good lord, it's terrible to see how they played this one. I'm so fucking over that shit. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take this off here. Hopefully this doesn't connect or disconnect you guys for any major problems. But, alright, that works pretty well. I'm going to put this back on the Wi-Fi. We're going to be going live on our Instagram on Verbal Tap in just a second. But feel free to drop me any hints, comments, concerns, hints, allegations, all of that good jazz. Because we're going to be going live for at least the next 3 fights. My name is Rafa Esparza. I host many shows, the primary of which are both the Grappling Hour and Verbal Tap. Those two, the 2 best combat sports vehicles out there in the world. I appreciate you guys for joining us today. We are going to have a phenomenally fun afternoon watching these last 3 fights, making history, watching the UFC on ABC. And in the meantime, we're getting ready for our 3rd fight coming up in a second here on ABC 1 main card. But I will take any questions you guys got for me. And let us go. Oh shit, no. That's not what we want to do. Hey, what's up, everybody? It is your friendly neighborhood BJJ podcaster. It is Rafa Esparza. We are doing UFC on ABC 1 coverage right here all day long. I'm stoked you guys are joining us. You're watching us here on Instagram. We're also going live on our, on all Grappling Hour platforms. So on YouTube, Twitch, Periscope, all of those. You can join us on either place. We're going to be watching those things. And of course, you guys are probably just tuning in after hearing the exciting update announcement of what's happening with Khabib Nurmagomedov, which is, not much. We're not sure. Which is boring. Anyway, the 3rd fight is coming up in a few minutes. That next fight is going to be a bout between Santiago Prezembibo and Li Jingliang. And that is the next fight that we've got coming up. Plus, middle of the next 2 is Carlos Condit versus Matt Brown. And then at the very end, Max Holloway versus Calvin Kattar. And that is going to be the end of the broadcast for us here today. Hello, TBJJ-esque and Johnny Pine Trees. Look at this. Mateo Cruz, Vin, and one other person joined. Peerless Jiu-Jitsu. Good to see everybody here. It says, what time does this fight start? The card is going on right now. So we'll be doing live coverage here. We do a fight companion. We also toast those who get finishes within regulations. What is up, Jaytana BJJ? Nice to see you. It's Mercedes. Mercedes, it's good to see you. It's been too long. Dana, like, maybe? No, Dana asked for an extension on his homework assignment. That's what he got. This is some bullshit. This is the worst kind of announcement where Dana's like, I don't know. He said, show me something. Cheers, fucker. Cheers indeed. So the way we do it is, if you guys give us a like and a share on Facebook, we give you a toast on air. And I'll be walking you through play-by-play of what we see happening right in front of us on the broadcast. What is up, Pinchy Dickies? Good to see you. I've got hello. I see so many people coming in and joining us. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. And it says over here, what do you think about Ryan Hall finally getting another fight? I think our meme said it all. The meme that we put up and tagged Ryan, and I know he saw it. I think he sent us a nice note back on it, which was the Jeff Goldblum meme from one Jurassic Park, which is, you crazy son of a bitch, you did it. That's it. I'm just glad he's got a fight. Good for him, man. That dude has been without a fight for far too long, and it is just great to see him get in there. That's a tough fight, but we'll see if blinking McKeel Hook is gonna go ahead and is gonna have some kind of issue happening. It says here Khabib versus GSP. I don't want to see it. Don't need to see it. That fight does not make any sense without a time machine. If we're being honest. Because, like, Khabib is so dominant in his era, and GSP is so dominant in his era. To ask the two of them at weird positions in their life to fight, to me, does not sound that great. But it's kind of the only fight to make. I see here, no, forget GSP versus Khabib. I just don't want to see it. Do I want to see 2008 GSP versus Khabib now? Sure. That physically cannot happen. So, I'm good. Plus, like, I don't know, man. If Khabib wants to retire, let the man just go. And move on. That division is already hot fire enough without him. The only thing that's silly is to kind of talk about retirement at an age where you are clearly still at your peak and could be dominating the sport for years to come. And I think for him, he's just kind of like, why? For the real BMF belt. Please, bro. Anytime you talk about the real BMF belt, like any BMF belt should just always be in like quotation marks. Yeah, I'm not at all of any concern or consideration on any part of that. So that's what I got going over on that side. We got 3 more fights, everybody. Lee is coming up in just a second against Posina Bibo. And that's what's happening, you guys. Could not be happier you're joining us. Super stoked. Li Jingliang, the Leech. Which is weird. I guess my stuff's not rendering all that great. But yeah, guys, I'm super stoked y'all are joining us on this beautiful day. We give a toast to those who get finishes within regulation. We're going to be taking care of that in a second for a couple of folks who shared this on our Facebook or who shared a YouTube and tagged us. So we want to make sure that we always give those folks props and say some nice words on their behalf. But I got over here a note that says Ponzi. So Ponzi has a nice little note that people are going for him. Oof. Yeah, that knockout from Lee was tough. To prove myself to finish this fight by knocking him out. Okay, that's a good way to start that one. So that's what we have on our side. Let me know what you guys are feeling at this moment. Oh, God. That's so stupid. All right. Cutting that one off. So, as we mentioned a little bit earlier this week, we probably won't be doing one of these for Wednesday, but we're going to return on Saturday to do UFC 256 or 257, and that's going to be a full version of the normal fight companions that you guys are used to seeing on this show. It'll be fun. What's up, Becky? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. But yeah, that's been the kind of crazy that we've been going through. On our side, let me see here. What other news can I tell you guys from Press Row? AKA the people who are right up top. And it is also from the news sorts. Dana White, very happy to fight fans back, apparently. What's up, Bronan? Apparently going up, and they have like a weird glass plate, and he's basically going in front of all the fans. It's so weird. Slowly but surely, hopefully we get to see fans come back. What is up, Dean? OC? Glad you're joining us. We're just waiting for the commercial end, and then I think at the tail end of it, we should be there. Said, did you see the train accident? Are you referring to The Decision, the MMA version? AKA, I need more time. I don't want anything. I got no shit for this. Because if that's what you're talking about, then yes, I did. I will ask this. It says, Buckley hype train derailment. Ah, that's the other one. So it goes. It is a weird thing, my friends. What's up, 5150 Rats? Good to see you. And it says, so CM Punk's Lux for Losers announcement with Joe Rogan had more validity than Uncle Dana's Khabib announcement because it resulted in not one, it's just one, but two fights. Hashtag CM Punk. Yeah. We'll get a CM Punk chant started on this show before anything else. Promise you. Christopher James Velez, when does Tough start up again? I don't know. They keep teasing it. It should be coming some point early this year, but your guess is as good as mine at this point. Buckley hype train, though. Yeah, it's disappointing, bro. I don't know what to tell you other than Buckley is somebody that the UFC was pumping all of their social media engagement into. They were like, please watch this. Please be excited for this dude. Please, we beg of you. And, you know, dude got knocked out with the same kind of hype train kick finish that would probably made him. So, live by the kick, die by the kick. You know who's super happy about that one? James Krause. Because now James is like, now I don't even have to fight you. He just got Alexander Houston. Man, what a name. Have not heard that one in a bit. Alexander Houston. That's what we need to do. We need to turn more old fighters into, I believe, verbs. All right, I saw a vote for Ponzi on this one. Who do you guys got on it? Tell me in the comment section. What's up, Dark Matter BJJ? Good to see you. Hopefully, Pride never die. Oh, man, never. 32, 34 years old. Jingliang is also just 2 years younger. Pretty equal all the way down, except for Reach, which is in one Ponzi's favor. Look at that coat. That jacket that one Bruce Buffer is wearing. It's rough. I've been trying to figure out if it's just fall leaves on it or I don't. I have to get even a closer look at it. So as we remind you guys, if you can give us a like and a share over on your Facebook, we give you a toast on air. And if you have questions, comments, hints, concerns throughout the fights, feel free to tell me. We will be bringing you guys live updates as we go along. I also realized I got to take this off of there. Nope, that's the Bruce Buffer one. That's the proper insignia, and we're ready to go. It says, is the carpet that Buffer is wearing from The Shining. Could be. I think a Bruce Buffer, now they just kind of like had 4 carpet samples that they made into one giant sort of jacket. Or the carpet samples came to life, like in Pixar, and quickly formed a jacket, and then they'll all scatter away. What is up, Fabric? Or Fabricio Arc? My apologies. Good to see you. Alright, fight starting. Lee is in the red trunks because China. And then Ponzibio is in the blue trunks. Earlier, we had our good friend, Senor Dan Hubler, tell you to take some action on this fight, and that action was as follows. He suggested that smart money for you would have been to take this fight going to a second round. So that was what he was suggesting. I don't know if that's exactly what you're doing, but that's what he told you to do. Whether you did it or not, that's on you. I'm not in charge of those things, my friends. Meanwhile, we are right in the midst of it. Both gents filling each other out thus far in. You can see Lee wants to just let it go at this point. But I like that they... the way that sometimes the UFC chooses between figuring out which name they want to go with. Going with Lee's first name and Ponzibio's last name is a type of consistency that you will always see them kind of struggle with. Where they're like, oh, fuck, I don't know. What are you going to call this guy? Jing Liang or Lee? Lee sounds like a last name. Let's just do that. What is up, Coach Perkins? Good to see you, bro. Hope you've been good. All right, both gents still circling. A little bit of dancing, a little bit of kicks to the inside leg. The lead leg of one Ponzibio. It says, Jing Liang is a better name for Lee. Yeah, I guess so, dude. I don't know. I think sometimes the UFC, they just look at shit and they go, are we racist? Are we? Sometimes we don't even know. Nice kick. Ponzibio. Ibio looking at least a little bit better here. Somebody just wrote on Press Row, not much of a significant strike has been thrown at all in this fight thus far in. And that is accurate. But now at about the 3-minute mark, it does look like they're starting to throw a little bit more, so that's good. Ibio trying to forge ahead. Maybe they got scared after seeing the last fight. Maybe they saw what could happen to a hype train that they're like, you know what? I don't want any part of that. That seems like a bad plan. Jing Liang connecting a few times there. Good forward motion by him. Ducks underneath, gets a nice right hand. Underneath, connects to the chin. Ponzibio. I think Ponzibio is just trying to figure out mid-charge, like what he wants to go with. Somebody just put up. Looks like Mike Chandler had the right idea even before that Khabib announcement was made. It says Michael Chandler wants to put a stamp on the UFC debut by finishing Hooker, possibly entice Khabib in the return. Yawn, back to Ghost of Tsushima. Keep up the good work. Thanks, bud. You have a great rest of your day, my friend. Oh, UFC on ABC 1. You give us a little bit of excite. Ooh! Take it back. Li Jiang. comes over to immediately check on his opponent as he just dusts Ponzinibbio. And now we're at the cage climb. Wow. We were just about to doubt you right there. What is up, Louis? We have to admit, that was pretty impressive, my friends. I stand corrected. You always do. So yes, that is 3 first-round knockouts on the card. Here's what could have been happening. Dana White could have been over at his throne, got some money out, and was like, nah. He's like, yo, I can't sell this shit on Disney if I can't get some knockouts, you dick. Let's look at this finish one more time, please. I like the fact that Li Jingliang does come to check on his opponent, but it does kind of look like he's also still trying to establish side control. If we're being honest, it's a little bit of both. Which, weird flex, but cool. You do you, bud. But yes, that was a left hook. That was pretty impressive, but one of the biggest underdogs does come through on this card. So now we got to start adding up some things. That is another cheers we have to do. Yo, he dead. He definitely dead, my friend. So what do you think the folks at ABC are thinking with these quick fights? I think they're happy. They want results like this. I'm sure in some way they'd appreciate it happening in the second rounds, but they'll take fight finishes. That's clips that they can use for the future. What is up, a.k.a. Tracy Tony D? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. We're about to get into our last 2 fights. Oh my God. It is about time for Carlos Condit to return to the cage to take on the immortal Matt Brown. A fight that should have happened like 4 or 5 times, and we are just barely going to see it here today. It's fucking exciting. How can you not be excited for this fight? I've had the ability to train with Matt Brown, and Carlos Condit was one of the first interviews we ever did on Verbal Tap. So we're torn on this one. We just want to see a good fight. What's good, brother? What is good? Not too much. No, I'm just kidding. Everything's pretty good right now. We got fights in front of us. I got a beer in my hand. It is a chill day, my friend. So I'm good. Peerless Jiu-Jitsu. What? Yeah, indeed. You got Carlos on this one. Carlos, indeed. Yeah, it's hard not to go for Carlos. Carlos is such a savage. I just feel bad. I can say this, though. Matt Brown has one of my microphones. Those things aren't cheap, by the way. The way it worked was I was interviewing Drew Dober, and I left it there. And I was like, fuck, it's lost. And Matt Brown saw me at another event one day, and he just goes, I still have your microphone. I was like, can I get it back? And he's like, yeah, sure. Never saw it again. I see this. I'm Team Carlos all the way. OG. Your glasses are dope. Thank you. I appreciate that. The lady who yelled at me at my eye doctor said they were good. I like the fact when I was trying on new glasses, she looked at me and she said, don't wear your old ones. Because I go, I just want to buy my old ones. Like, give me a new pair, but the old ones. And she goes, those don't fit well. I go, well, I have a very large head, so that's going to really, there's not a lot that's going to fit well on my head. And then she started roasting me so much that I couldn't stop laughing. Where I go, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So we have a policy here on the show, which is those who get finishes within regulation or those who share our program on Facebook, like and a share, you guys get a toast, just like we're about to do for one Lee. Hold on, he's saying some words. Yeah? No? Okay, I think he's calling somebody out, but I still have to do a toast. So, Lee, chill the F out, bro. This toast goes on over to Li Jingliang. Congratulations on that knockout, dude. Holy fuck, was that impressive. Your left hand has more power than, I mean, most people's left hands. But I gotta tell you, man, that was so much fun to watch. You were an underdog on this card. Also, you'll never see or hear this because, let's face it, you're not gonna translate this into English. But cheers to you. What is up? Cheeto is the name. What's up, Cody? It says, man, I have a similar story, but I have an obnoxiously small head. Well, power to you. That's a very different problem than I have, my man. But it's what it is. Toasty, toasty fucker. Well, that's cool. Good for him. Let's see what he gets pulled up next for him. Of course, ABC making history, putting on mixed martial arts with the UFC for the very first time. Very, very happy about that. Bollinger coming in, stopping him, probably saying hello. All is well. I hope all is well with you. You owe me rounds at some point, sir. So hopefully we can get those rounds in at some point when you're, you know, not running away or working. Or boxing savagely with Justin Bieber and defending his honor. I'm just saying. Who wins Maine? Ooh, I like that question. Earlier today, we had Hubler who was saying put the money on Tar, but I don't see Cater on this one. I see Holloway. If you ever come to my area, let me know. I'll open up the garage. Yeah, absolutely, dude. I like the idea that you just have a battle zone ready. That is one of the funniest things about seeing on your Instagram, which is that if you're around your family and it's like a holiday event, you'll see you being like, all right, you guys wrestle in front of me. I'm too old. I'll come in for one round and that's all I got. But it's like you're now becoming the Don King of your household and just putting on events. What is up? Frank Ling Sinkon. Is that Frank Ling? Leescon? I don't know how to say your name. I'm fucking it up continuously. I'm also drinking, so I do have a little bit of an excuse. Yeah, on this one, I think I've got Holloway coming in. I'd like to see him win. I like him a lot. If Cater surprises me, I don't think I'll be that, not surprised, but I don't think I'll have any issue with that. And it says, broken ankle and torn ligaments. I'll do what I can. Hey, man. That's your dumb fault. That's nobody else's fault. Don't use that as an excuse. However, now that I know that, I'm definitely going to be attacking your legs when we roll now. Thank you for letting me know. I was like, wait, hold on. No, I'm going to write that down. Bollinger will tap to straight ankle. Got it. Oh my god. You know, it's so good when Bollinger shows up and other people in the chat know him and are telling him to stop crying. Oh, that's so funny. Do you take part in the ganja? I actually don't. And I always have to apologize to people because I look like I do. And I have no issue against it. I'm such always the friend to everybody who's a major stoner. Like Kevin on the podcast is a huge stoner. And I've never smoked out, but I'd be willing to grab beer. Oh wait, that's right. Sorry. We wouldn't do that. But you know what we would do? We'd grub. So we'd get food together. So I'm good with that. And it says, fuck me. I'll cry, honestly. No, dude, this is your dumb fault because I'll tell you this much, Cody. I remember when you were watching videos. I think we trained once and you were watching a video on the truck. And the next day you were just trying out shit. So you were trying toe holds and all that sort of stuff. And you're like, I don't know what I'm doing. And they weren't bad. So it's just like, all right. That's how Cody rolls, huh? All right, good to know. Contact. It says, you look like someone who takes shrooms more than weed. No kidding. But dude, I used to be so, like in college, all my professors, I think, thought I was the high guy. And I think it was just because my brand of humor works probably the best. with stoners, and we see it with like people who watch our show. If you ever look at our demographics for both Verbal Tap and Grappling Hour, we're a very stoner friendly show. So I have no issue with it. I don't care if people do it. I just have always been like somebody who gets it by association. But I like that. You look like somebody who takes shrooms more than weed. Thank you, I think. I don't know. I don't know what that means. But Kevin's your guy if you ever want to smoke out. And I gotta tell you this. I have worked... I have to put this present tense. I am working on a show that could have very strong implications with a weed-friendly audience. I'll say that much. So I think you'll enjoy that. But it says, Angel Pharma BJJ joined. And it says, I almost fought Cater like 12 or 13 before he was well known. But they offered me shit pay. I knew he had heavy hands then, and good to see him now. I think he connects. He might be the one to sleep Max. Dude, the power in his hands, I'm with you on that. So I got no issue on any part of what you're putting out there. Sounds like a badass show. I'd love to see that, man. I'll tell you more about it off air, bro. Because I'm the type that wants to make sure we get it going before I really, really pitch it out loud. But I think it could be a lot of fun. I think we'll have a lot of people getting in. What's up, Gene Katz, Nay Gosling, Henry, Sambo Slice? Thank you guys all for joining in. We're about to watch the co-main event right now. Happening. Super exciting. I mean, to be honest, Cody, that would have been a fun fight with you and Cater. But it's one of those fights that I'm glad that you know he has heavy hands. And more importantly, that you probably think out loud to yourself, even if you won or lost, that would have taken years off of your life. Like, that's not a fight that you literally look at fondly for your own personal health. It says, I'm starting my podcast thanks to your inspiration years ago, and I can't believe, I would love to pick your brain for you Teachable, because I know nothing about other than talk real shit, because I hope this came out already, because fuck, I'm driving and during Surrey text, and that little bitch is always wrong. First of all, only do your podcast translating it to Surrey, because that's a fucking amazing idea. No, Mercedes, you have always been phenomenally nice to me. So I am more than happy to give you advice and, give you the advice that I wish people would have given me when I first started. Always hit me up. You always know that you can. You got no problem with that. Who wins between Condit and Magny? Right now, it's got to be Magny, right? Like, that fight a few years ago would have been a different story. I'm not super confident one way or another how that goes. Angel Pharma, sup, Rafa. Happy 2021. Wishing you the best. Thank you very much, Angel. I appreciate you. So much love and appreciate so much happiness coming all the way through. He would have KO'd me if I didn't take him down. I didn't have good stand-up back then. Did you have good stand-up? Just trying to remember if you did. Just kidding. I thought Magny was going to be the champ, and then Larkin starched him bad, and he really hasn't been the same. Yeah, I would tell you this, though. Magny's been on still a pretty good run, all things considered. And I feel like Magny's one of those guys who, like, he's somebody who could just stick around to be long enough in the division where maybe something does happen for him. Because that dude is fucking tough as nails, dude. His last few fights, think about this. He has a win over Li Jiang, who we just saw here tonight. Anthony Rocco Martin, a win against Robbie Lawler. And, I mean, dude, it makes things interesting. And Carlos Condit versus Neil Magny, I mean, him getting a win over him back at UFC 219, it's just a different era. That was 2017 even. I don't even know. We've seen Carlos Condit fight for so long, it's hard to get a full feeling on this. And it says, I think Magny wins, though. Yeah. What is PJ Ray? Raynam? MMA? Either way, welcome to the show. All right, tell me who you guys have. Do you have Matt Brown or do you have Carlos Condit? Talk to me. I know Mercedes is going a certain way. I need to get the vibes. I need to get the notes. You guys make the show, so the more you talk, the better the show is. And we also do a cheers to everybody who gets a knockout within regulation or a submission within regulation for the fight game. And for you guys who are watching at home, if you give us a like and a share, we give you a toast on air. Just like this one right now. This toast goes on out to our pal, one Adam, according to Woods. Hey, listen, if you guys like shows like mine that just aren't hosted by me and maybe not as good, but like almost as good, go listen to his podcast. Give him some love. That kid is nothing but niceness and a very, very wonderful human being. So cheers. This is some rude ass shit, Cash Standing. It says, Magni, Condit is washed. Yikes. I see that Magni and Condit conversation is there, but we're asking if you think Condit is going to beat Brown now. So let's change that conversation. And it says, Salas joined and Jiu-Jitsu Panda joined. Hey, what's up, everybody? I see over here a Matt Brown. Matt Brown by knockout in the second round. Whew, I don't know, man. That could happen. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Oh, hell well. Very excited by these prospects. I see here, whoops, wrong fight. Yeah, of course it's wrong fight, you dick. What is up, Pennington Chris, Jiu-Jitsu Panda, Gore, Bankasara 25. My name is Rafa Esparza. I host many shows, the most prominent of which that you probably know are Grappling Hour and Verbal Tap. We're doing a live fight companion that we watch along with you guys, have some fun, do some play-by-play, all that you need. If you have questions, comments, hints, concerns as you're either watching the fight or you just want to say something out loud, feel free to voice it. I may clown you, I may not. For the most part, I'm pretty nice right now. So there is that. They're doing a nice little promo of the nice little logos of the war tape on Carlos Condit's hands, and it says Brown wins, Condit is still washed. That's some rude ass shit you're coming with, Cash Standing. I see you, bro, but man. It says, I'd like to just see a fight go past the first round at this point. I'm alright with it. Jiu-Jitsu Panda coming in and saying, War Condit. Love that. I don't know, man. I can't, listen, I'm not, fuck. This is tough. I think I want Carlos Condit, though. The truth hurts, says Cash Standing. Well, you know, the truth would be even more hurtful if we were to say your half guard isn't good. Sometimes you just don't say those things out loud. It's just not nice. But I've heard things. So I'm just saying. ESPN is asking right now, who do you think delivers the standout performance at UFC 257? And they're saying between Dustin Poirier and McGregor and Hooker versus Chandler. I mean, it is kind of weird that they have 4 fights like that happening all at the same time. Oh, my friends. It is kind of also nice to see the UFC on a network. We've gotten so used to being in the shadows for years. Sometimes the UFC being on the cusp of losing their television deal. Sometimes not even being evaluated as prominently as, say, the WWE. Look it up. It's true. So for them to have made it on ABC is very significant. And I'm very happy to see that is what is happening for them. Also, if you're Carlos Condit, fuck, dude. You're a beast, but looking at that replay, if you're Hardy on the commentary team, is still funny to watch. 4 Ounce MMA, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. We're about to get into the main event in just a few moments. If you give us a like and a share over on Facebook, we give you a toast on air. That's how easy this thing works. We're very excited to have all of you sticking around, hanging out with us. The main event's going to come over. I still feel like that Carlos Condit kicking GSP is like one of the most iconic kind of moments in his fight history. That was essentially the first fight we talked about on this Verbal Tap. On Verbal Tap, that was one of the first shows that we ever did, was Kevin and I breaking down the Carlos Condit and GSP fight. Insane to see how long that has been, though. Let me see. Y'all are being very appreciative of Carlos Condit and saying that is there. It says, Brown is an underdog. I feel like that's a great bet. Yeah. Yeah, that's a very, very perceptive little thing you're picking up there, Bollinger. It's so hard because either going on those two sides, I just don't feel confident making a bet on this. There's usually a general rule, which is if you're too close to the fighters, you probably shouldn't bet on them. And that is coming from somebody who is a compulsive gambler. So it says, I'm worried that bad cuts might be stopped faster than usual because this is a Disney channel. Nah, that's not the case. Also, it's Disney during like the afternoon. They don't care. Although it will be pretty good if you see Mickey storming the ring. Oh boy, put that away. Oh no, no blood here. Both will die in there. One is just built a little more sturdy, in my opinion. Agree. I still to this day use Carlos Condit as my go-to for explaining how to be active in guard for a number of people. His elbows were some of the best approaches that I think I've seen just in MMA, especially that early in the game where he was active off his back and dangerous off his back, and some people were very difficult to kind of do this. I don't bet on anything except cars and Pokemon. What a weird combination you are. It is very strange to look at your Instagram stories, by the way. To see you going from one day talking about how like you were doing some fun things with a car, and then the very next day being like, hey everybody, do you see my niece packaging for all my Pokemon? Had a really good turnout today. How is that shit worth so much? I don't understand it. That shit legitimately confuses me. Like, I don't mind spending money on things that are highly important, but when people spend that much money and they're like, oh, I just turned around my Pokemon collection, sold it for a heavy price. I'm like, to who? And why are you paying that much? That shit's... what do I know? Alright. Mystic Mike. Is that what Chandler's trying to pull right now? That's what he just tweeted out? Mystic Mike? Yikes. I like that Chandler is doing a pretty good job of getting people interested in what it says. It looks like Chandler had the right idea. Yeah, that's what he's trying to push. Yeah, alright. It says, Pokemon, go Team Valor all day. It says, haha, bro, it's insane. I sold over 1,000 a day. It's limited quantity and hard to get. 5 million collectors plus, and some are rich as fuck. That's so weird. I've seen some of my friends turn their shit around in big ways, so I'm not saying I don't understand that it does make money. I just don't understand why. And when you say some of them are rich as fuck, yo, that's the type of stuff that makes me concerned. What is up, John Fred? We are about to see the co-main event. One, Carlos Condit. One, Immortal Matt Brown. Both friends of our show. Let's see how it happens. I think if I'm rooting for anything, I think I am rooting for Condit more. But I kind of want him to retire, and I kind of want Matt Brown to retire. I kind of wish that both of them do like a double retirement. I think I'm okay with that now. Because in my head, they probably should have both been finished fighting for a while. The hard part is, it's very difficult to tell fighters to stop fighting. Especially when that is who they are. That's how they identify. And these guys are now just nodding their heads at each other and just saying, fuck yeah. Yeah, no, they're excited to fight each other. That's great. Awesome. Okay. Double knockout, double retirement. Yes. And it says here, I am amazed that they've never fought before. Jeez, 40. Yeah, 40 indeed. All right. Yeah, they've been talked about for fighting one another for years. They stylistically make a very interesting kind of fight against one another. And here we are. It finally happening. Brown looks like he got waxed and quit 2 strips in on his chest. He definitely had the 40-year-old virgin treatment. I don't think you're wrong on that one, Cody. In fact, you got a laugh from producer wife Kelly over here. So whenever we get a laugh out of her, that's how you know you've crossed over. Look at this. Double Imanari roll. Don't you do that to us. Don't you rob us of a good fight here. These are 2 people. You know, I've rolled with Matt Brown before, so I can tell you this much. The very little opportunity I think that man is going to try and do an Imanari roll. And many of our friends are very close with Carlos Condit out in New Mexico, and I've rolled with him. And did you know that now I think he's barely become a purple belt under that system? Which is insane to me. Kevin and I think, started the podcast thinking he was already a brown belt. And I think he was. And then they decided to belt him under, I think, a new system. So that's what you got going on there. What's up, Chino? Good to see you. Join in for the co-main event. You've got Condit in the black trunks, already starting off with a good kick on over. Brown steps back, does not get in there. Condit with a kick to the outside lead leg of one Matt Brown. Slowly backtracks ever so slightly. All right. Sheena, hope you've been good, dude. You've been training. What has been going on in your side of the world? Good start. Good start. Nice kick. Higher. Kind of always also had an ability to hit some of his high kicks at like some of the most effortless angles. Like just watching him with his approach was always very interesting from us. He's also famously a good sport because, oof, nice wrap up though by Brown. It does take him down very early. Condit probably looking to try and get in on a guard retention here. Good positioning on that arm to make sure he's a little bit safe. The hard part is where he's connected to where the cage is. So he's not going to be able to really hip out and really re-guard here for a split second. What is up, Bastion? So this is where Matt Brown applying solid, good pressure here. But yeah, Condit finding his way to his guard. Here's the interesting thing about this position, though. Condit has always been really good from inside of his guard. Matt Brown is somebody you don't want in that guard. So I think this is going very much to the fans' wishes when these two were proposed to fight years ago. Condit still opting to try and keep that one butterfly leg in. Now goes to full guard. Brown coming in with a few elbows of his own. Condit trying to get on over to his side. We'll see if maybe some of that 10th Planet training has been helpful to Carlos Condit. I wonder if he's able to utilize some of that rubber guard, because that would be very good and useful for a person like Matt Brown at this juncture. Still trying to get good control on the wrists. Matt Brown being very tight. I would look over on that left leg, though. Very solid for omoplatas. Condit trying to just inch his way off of the cage, using the elbows very nicely here. Says Brown is bleeding. Yes, he is. I think you previewed that a little bit earlier by saying they'll probably just bleed from walking. What is up, Arc Mike 0430? Good to see you. Hopefully you are having a great day. Oh, it says, told you Condit is washed. Well, I mean, here's what I would tell you. You're still washed at your half guard, and we don't make fun of you. Also, Carlos Condit actually has fun jiu-jitsu and fun MMA. And you don't. So, sad for you. Condit just tried to G-roll his way into a fucking, like, triangle there. I mean, I'll have... It says you've never seen my half guard. I don't have to. I know people who've seen it. That's the great part about hearing things. I already know. Minute 14 left in round number 1. Now Brown trying to advance here. Condit stuck maybe a little bit in inversion. Ugh. Brown punching you is just not fun, though. That's the type of shit that reminds you. This is why you don't invert in jiu-jitsu. In jiu-jitsu, you do an invert. Nobody's punching you in the face as a result of it. Kind of almost working on kind of like a back take here and could be securing the arm if he was turning it into an omoplata. There's been a lot of opportunity for him maybe to think that one through a little bit more. We'll see. 30 seconds left in round number 1. Condit back up on his feet, does a switch. Now he's going to have about 20 seconds to try and inflict some pain on Matt Brown. And yes, Matt Brown now is trying to do the exact same sort of strategy, almost going for a leg here. He wants to probably try and knee bar Condit here, which I think would be an interesting dynamic to this whole thing. Condit using the momentum to find his way as a striking opportunity there. And it says, okay, that was a nice switch. I'll give him that. You've never made a nice switch. And I like that nice little nod of appreciation from Matt Brown, saying good stuff there. I see knee bar from Christopher James Velez. Yes, knee bar attempt in there somewhere. And Jiu-Jitsu Panda saying, oh, nice. Nice indeed, dude. I mean, listen, sometimes the instincts take a few seconds to kick in. Ask Cody. He knows. It's like when Cody starts rolling, he's like, how does this work again? I've done this. I know this works. Am I supposed guillotine? No. Oh, right. Here. Mount. Sorry. I just blanked out. Oops. When you are fighting with their caliber, though, you do find the instincts, even if they take a round to come in, there still can be very surprising. And both of these guys seem to be very adept to almost wanting to play a leg lock attack game, which to me I think is, I don't even want to say surprising, it's just kind of impressive. And I don't really understand that Peloton commercial, because I think it's supposed to be encouraging you to get a Peloton, and seeing that commercial with a dude who can barely get up afterwards, who's old, is not encouraging. And it says, LMAO, I let the guy do whatever until I don't feel comfortable. That's just his rolling. His MMA fighting is very different, so don't confuse the two. His fighting is very different. Ooh! Yeah, Matt Brown angry now. And I think he's starting to put a lot of the pressure standing up on Condit. That is probably the way to go, though, if you are Matt Brown. That continuous amount of pressure where you're overwhelming or swarming Carlos Condit is good there. I see here it says Matt Brown's elbow. Of course, elbow always makes things very bad. Well, both of these guys with their elbows. Matt Brown just throws a dicey one that really smokes people. I just tell you this, though, as stuffs. Matt Brown really didn't even commit to that takedown. Just kind of wanted to see if he could maybe disorient Carlos Condit a little bit. Nice drop there. Condit right back up on top. What is up, the Nickster? Thanks for joining us, watching UFC on ABC Uno. What is up? BS Airy. Here's an interesting strategy. Now, Brown, in kind of faking out some of these takedowns, uses them as opportunity to try and get some of these knees in. On this third one, has an underhook on his left side. Has Condit pressed up against the cage. This is going to rack up some more control time for him. There could be a trip coming up in just a second. Condit, little flaily here. Both of these gentlemen have said during the walk-up to this fight there's a lot of implications for both of their fight careers. It was interesting to see also the differences of opinion of how this fight was going to go. Matt Brown being pretty respectful and saying, you know, we'll see what happens. He's a very, very game opponent. And Carlos Condit in true dude bro fashion saying, I'm going to go in there and kill him. Like, That's it. That's what I want to do. Oh my God. Wow. Wow. Look at that. 10th Planet, Dark Haven stand up. That was a nice little leg sweep takedown there by Carlos Condit. Matt Brown survives it, but Condit stays persistent on it, manages to get him down. Now working from inside a guard, it says that was cool. Who taught Condit to actually do takedowns? I want you guys to understand, the person who's sending these in sounds like a troll, but he actually is a friend of the show. I just don't understand how ridiculously on one he is today, though. Oh, is he getting takedowns now? Who taught him that? Like, slow down, Cash. Oh, yeah, producer wife Kelly says he might be jealous. I actually think that's the case here. Kevin famously was crushing hard on Carlos Condit when we first started, and Condit was actually a really good sport about it, so we've always been indebted to him. And it says, Condit can't do a basic sprawl, but can pull off high-level tricky shit? Yeah, absolutely. I think it's what it is. I think that Condit also had a certain reaction time that he was like, oh, I can stop. Oh, no, I can't. That crucifix that he was trying from up top where he was trying to, like, pin that arm wasn't a bad approach, but you really want to make the use out of these next 40 seconds here, so you can really make that nice statement on Matt Brown. Matt Brown trying to get him into his close guard now. I think at one point, Condit literally just showed him part of his elbow as being like, do you want me to hit you with one of these? One of these right here? So, 17 seconds. We're pretty assured on a third round. It's probably going to be a very close fight, if we're being honest. And 5. Ugh. Now you're seeing Matt Brown just bleed even more. Carlos Condit offers a hand for him to get back up. Yeah. It is nice to see how much they respect each other. That's kind of fun. But they're both just pissed at the other for not ending the other's life. Like, I think that's what it is. It's almost like, I want you to kill me. I want you to do it. 2-0 Condit or 1-1? I'm kind of at 1-1, but it's close. It's not, I don't know, man. And Condit could completely be ahead. I feel like part of that first round, though, is kind of dicey in terms of the judges. So let's just be safe and say 1-1. How about you guys? Anybody different? Cash, I'm not asking you. I don't believe you. What's up, Dima? Speaking of fighters, look at this, man. Coming in. What a good person Dima is. I see you out there trying to, what is it? Operation Swole? Is that what you guys are doing? I don't even know what it is. I just know it's really something stupid. But Venetius, what's up? Thanks for watching along. We're watching UFC on ABC Uno. It says 1-1 even though you didn't ask. I definitely did not ask you. It says Conde got that last round. Brown got the first. Okay. What's up, Bode? Oh. So there was a low blow that just happened there? Yeah, okay. Chooses, doesn't want to take the 5 minutes. So you can tell when fighters have to get to the old person buffet. Like, retirement age for fighters to get at, like, old discounts starts at, like, 27. Who do I got, Raph? Well, I'm rooting for Condit maybe a little bit more. But I like both these guys a lot. They are both friends of the show. You know, this is what I should say. I have whoever comes on the show next. I think that's a good way of putting it. It says Matt Brown looking like that chest waxing scene from the 30... We already did that joke. Where were you, Cash? Come on. Bollinger already got that joke about 20 minutes ago. That was really good, too. And he set it up better, so try harder next time. Brown coming in, trying to get a takedown. Condit surfs, may take the back as a result of it. Grabs the leg, beautifully done. Now he has one hook in. He's got to be very careful on maintaining his balance here. That back is compromised. He's grabbing on the arms. I think DC was saying he's shaking. It says, sorry, I missed that joke. Yeah, you did. All right, this is a way better center of gravity for Condit. He's going to have some time here if he flattens out the hips a little bit more on Matt Brown. This could be really, really bad. He seems very interested in keeping that arm, though. Ding service. Yeah, this is not the place you want to be if you're a Matt Brown. Condit almost looking like he wants to mess with some truck entries. It says Condit looking sharp as fuck. Yeah, I mean, he's looking really good, dude. Yeah, he is looking pretty solid, all things considered. Just needs to keep his head clear. He does. Passes pretty easily. Now he's going to cradle one Matt Brown. Just really be technical in terms of making sure that he stays on top and kind of keeps the arms out of protecting him, which is a very solid choice here. Matt Brown trying to re-guard here ever so slightly, but this is a lot of opportunity. Yes, Carlos Condit, I see you looking to want to use a gift wrap here. Good on you. Ugh. Oh, there is an arm underneath the chin here and a body triangle. Woo, almost. Body triangle out of proportion. Matt Brown going straight into a single from that. Good on him, dude. Carlos Condit looking to see if maybe he can go ahead and get some elbows. That's not a place that I like to get elbowed. No, 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 no. No thanks. Kimura trap loses it in the middle of that transition. Now may have a triangle here. Matt Brown looking up, posturing, and is breathing a little bit harder. Giant gash on his face like he just took some sort of weird plate in a Mick Foley match. That was a spot. James Arthur says this is a good fight between two legends. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're very prominent in the history of the UFC and have given us a lot of very important moments. But, yep. Oh, wow. Look at this. Definitely flexible enough to pull off some of the highest caliber shit. And it says Condit worked beautifully off his back today. Hope he keeps it up. There's 1 minute left to go here. This is his fight to lose. Ah, he's back up. He might hit this switch. So Cody, just as you were saying, he can do some of the tricky shit. But the simple stuff, sometimes a little bit harder for him. Oh, nice elbow before changing levels and dropping him down. Matt Brown will probably come up on top, though, and Carlos very quickly gets his guard back in. Now there's 30 seconds. This is kind of what you imagine this fight would be. Old, scrambly, gritty, but still oddly very compelling between two people who have really bled far too much in the UFC. We'll just be honest with that. Condit has one arm trapped behind him while in guard and still is trying to find a way to use his elbows within a offensive approach. Almost gets this switch and they tell the gentleman, you can return back to your bar stools. Well, that was a pretty polite and nice savage fight. Good for them. What's up, my BJJ? Is okay? Sorry, Cash Standing, I missed the part where you said Carlos Condit is washed up at the end of the fight. I just wanted to see if you wanted to stand by that still. Because you kept saying it like it's a fact, though. Looked pretty good there. Anyway, what is up? Angela Morris, thanks for joining us. We have one more fight left. That's your main event. We're going to get the results of this one. Do you guys think that Carlos Condit took that fight? I do. So, pretty pretty easy way of saying it, which means we have to ask you guys, do you have on this next fight, the last fight, the main event, Calvin Kattar or Max Holloway? I will take your notes in the comment section, and we'll go from there. Look at this. Cash showing up over here. Pfft. You just went from YouTube to over on the Instagram. What's up, William Russell? Thank you very much for joining along with us. If you give us a like and a share over on our Facebook, we will give you a toast just like those fighters who get finishes within regulation. And it says, that was more fun than expected. Absolutely. Mike Chiasa versus Magny. I have to be going for Magny on that one. What is up, Nafe40? Thank you for doing the solid and joining along with us. It does look like we have an official result, and that result is as follows. It is 1. Carlos Condit getting the decision win, and he did pick up that first round, so it's 30-27 all the way through. Carlos goes over to immediately say hello to the coaches of one Immortal Matt Brown. Oh, Carlos, you can retire now, bud. And here's the question, served on a platter. Carlos Condit, the Keanu Reeves of the UFC, speaking very nicely of his opponent. Eric is giving some props to him, and he's just kind of like, it was okay. And always giving props to his team. He's saying he's just letting it go. He's feeling a lot more comfortable. Condit says he doesn't know. And he says he's up to fight whoever. Alright, so he continues on. Looks like we're going to probably see Carlos Condit fight more still. It's pretty funny. Well, is there anybody who you guys want to see him fight? Because I'm good. Somebody put up this, and this is from Chimakar Sadu, that says Nick Diaz versus Carlos Condit. If Nick is making a comeback this year, why not? Yeah, I'm alright with that. That sounds fun. It just assumes that Nick Diaz is going to make a return, because it feels like that's something they threaten a lot, but they never actually do. What is up, JT? Thanks for joining. What is up, Juju Hunikin? I don't know who that person is. But Oseas Reyes, JTM, we're about to get to the main event. They're probably going to take a few minutes to go ahead and do some pad work in terms of giving some promo time to their commercial advertisements, as well as showing you some of the video packages that they've done. They've been doing that all day long, and that's where we're at. Apparently Dana White was recently talking to Stephen A. Smith, which, boo. So Stephen A. Smith is asking, is there anybody as magnetic as Conor McGregor? What's up, Danny? So Dana's basically saying the circle of life will continue after Conor McGregor, new Simba will be born, etc., etc. All right. I mean, Izzy's got to be up there. Izzy's been very, very captivating to watch. All right, you guys can continue to tell me while we wait for the next few minutes on who you have in the main event. And you know what? We'll do a nice toast on over. They're friends of the show. Matt Brown, Carlos Condit. That was a lot of fun. I'm just glad that you guys fought. I'm glad that you continue to fight. You guys can stop whenever you want, but it's always nice when you guys make appearances and give us something fun like that. So, cheers to you guys. Boom. I like that Dana is also put in front of an Arnold Schwarzenegger quotation.
I believe he also talked about the pandemic in the past tense just now as well.
Oh, yes. Producer wife Kelly brings up the point. Dana White is speaking about the pandemic in the past tense. Which, he's in the past tense with the pandemic. But the rest of us, no. What's up, Alma? And it says, yeah. Oh, no. It's over, remember? I like that one of the biggest issues that the UFC had was they were just complaining that they weren't getting enough credit for doing what they were doing. And they're also trying to talk shit about media members who were criticizing them, who very likely pushed them to have a number of those recommendations in. Because if it was up to the UFC, they would have just basically brought them in and kidnapped half of those people. But it was dumb. But it's like, you guys don't appreciate us enough, so I'll have to appreciate myself 10 times as much. So, instead of doing anything else, we are now getting parts of an interview that you can go watch elsewhere, filling the time that they're probably... Let's just hope they're sanitizing the ring and whatnot, or the octagon, so there you have it. And Stephen A. Smith, the person who probably knows less than the person at the bar that you're standing next to. What's that? Oh. Producer wife Kelly says she could do better about MMA. That's the understatement of the century. Stephen A. Smith is widely mocked as the person who is the embodiment of a casual fan asking questions to this realm. Like, when we make fun of casual fans, we make fun of Stephen A. Smith. So, there is that. Anyway, it says, so, Jon Jones and Conor McGregor. Sounds like there are two cards that can fall apart. Yes. I mean, Conor McGregor has more cards that actually come to fruition. Jon Jones has a lot more that are like, oopsie daisy. It says, notice in that Dana promo he replaced Buckley with Kevin Holland? Yes. Absolutely. Who's that other black guy? The other one. You know, that one. Like, you mean Joaquin Buckley? That's the guy you've been talking about this whole time. No, his friend. His, the other one. He's good too. I like him. What's up, Jiu-Jitsu Dad Bod? What the hell are you trying to do? You tag me in something and I have no idea. Are you trying to call out Chael Sonnen to something? Because he's not going to do it. But more power to you. What is up, Morty McGregor? Is that Morty from... Yeah, I think from your icon, that's Morty from Rick and Morty McGregor. What does a Morty McGregor say? What's up, DJ Mike Murda? Look at you. Showing up places and shit. Hope you were doing well, sir. Actually, I don't. I hope you're doing okay. I think that's a more accurate way of saying that. It says the athletic and explosive guy. Up next, Calvin Cater. Max Blessed Holloway. That's fair. Are you guys excited for UFC 257? Do you think that Conor McGregor, who is predicted that he will dust Poirier in their rematch in 60 seconds, is saying the truth? Do you think that that's fair? By the way, I also am going to yell this out loud so that producer wife Kelly can hear what happened. But earlier today, there was an announcement, an update on Khabib Nurmagomedov because he retired earlier this year.
He unretired.
Well, him and Dana had a meeting yesterday. And they were going to tell us the results of that meeting today. And do you know what Dana White told us about that meeting? So, here's what's going to happen. He's going to come to UFC 257 next week. And if he sees something he likes that's compelling between Conor and Dustin or Chandler, then he'll reconsider what he's going to do. So in essence, Dana White asked for an extension to his homework. That's the bullshit we had earlier today. It was highly embarrassing.
Can't anybody retire in peace?
Can't anybody retire in peace? Well, not when you blame your mom for not allowing you to fight anymore because your dad died. I would fight, but my mom, I promised her I won't anymore. And it's like, don't do that to her. Anyway, that's the decision that was made today. It says, Dana looking into it like Eddie Bravo in Tower 7. No. The notes here say, why are there just so many ads? Just move to the fight. Well, when you sell advertisements, they have to air. So that's why we're getting so much space. Network television, indeed. We had 3 first round finishes, so you got to make sure to sell those ads. And more importantly, like, they're trying to build it up so that it lasts more than just an hour and change. Christopher James Velez says, I think Poirier will kill it. I don't know. This is an interesting thing. I don't know what Conor McGregor looks like as a current fighter. We saw him beat Cowboy, but I don't know what he looks like. I guess we'll just have to all wait and see. It says, you think Dana could ask Khabib's mom for a note to allow him to fight? Actually, you know what? In retrospect, and I don't know why I didn't have this foresight in the very beginning of it all, why didn't Dana ask Khabib's mom? Like, don't bring Khabib into a room and shut the door.
Don't know if she wasn't there.
Like, she wasn't in the room. That's the meeting to make. It's going to be a closed room. Miss Nurmagomedov and Dana. Let him do it. No. Come on. No. Please? No. 50 million? Okay. That's good. I can do that. That'd be a much better program, by the way. Now, this is all the education part. If you're getting a network setting, you want to educate those new people who might be watching on who these fighters are. That's why they had the promo that said, hey, look at Max Holloway. He's a good dad. Hey, this is Max Holloway. He plays video games. Isn't that cool? This is Calvin Cater. You probably don't know who he is if you're a regular person. Here's some stuff about him. But this should be a good fight, so I don't mind them giving them their due. And it says, I am a little behind. Just finishing this Condit versus Brown fight. Such warriors. Good. You could automatically fast forward after literally the moment they announce the fight and they interview Condit. You can fast forward to where we are now because you've missed absolutely nothing. It says, Khabib's mom versus Dana only on pay-per-view behind another paywall. That sounds like a very weird, different pay-per-view option, and I don't know that I want it, if I'm being honest. But yeah, sell it. Alright, kids, this is your last chance to say if you think that Calvin Cater is going to get an upset win here against the Blessed Express. 1, Max Holloway. No, you don't think so? You don't think the kid's gonna beat Max Holloway?
No.
Okay. I'm putting it out there. Dan Hubler told us earlier today to take the action on Cater. I like this. Sure, I'll say it. Congrats to Condit, and it says, okay, I'm done waiting. Let's see Condit versus Diaz too. That's what we were proposing. We're good with that. It says, go Calvin. Okay. Joined. What is up, Heart and Hustle Jiu-Jitsu? Good to see you. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day. We're at main event time. Cater about to enter this thing. All right. Did TC just talk about cartels? I don't know. Okay. This is why I'm glad I don't listen to the commentary anymore. I think this is probably the best therapy design that we came up with for this show that we do, which is I don't have to listen to DC talk about things. It's way better for my own mental health. All right, sharing on the news feed. Join us for the main event of UFC on ABC1. Let's go. All right, friends, very excited about this. Give us a like and a share on Facebook. We give you a toast on air. That's as simple as we do it. Money fight. Hashtag 1. Condit versus Diaz 2. Yeah, I think so. I think it'd be fun to watch. I don't know if it's a money fight, but it definitely is a fight that will make them money. All right. It's a good time to remind you guys, if you haven't followed us or you don't, you can fix that problem in your life. Go to any of these spots down here. Follow us at Grappling Hour on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and the Apple Podcast page and on Spotify. You can also do the same on all Verbal Tap channels, and we always appreciate when you guys do that. It's very nice. And if it wouldn't kill you, go give us a 5-star rating over on our Apple Podcast page. It does make a difference, I promise you. Let me see here. Oh, Blessed Express coming out with super hype song right now. He is in his zone, everybody. Our good friend Vince Cachero saying, let's go Max. Interesting. So it says cater time. Okay. Seeing a lot of different notes here. Jake Chikaro ends his post-fight interview early to send a message. I don't like that you only interview the winner in this game. The sport is made by two people. Always. A winner and a loser. It sounds nice in theory. Now, as somebody who does regularly try to interview a number of people, interview the loser of anything in anything and see how that goes. Even people who I pull aside after they lose something and it's a really epic match or a fight, they're not super really into talking all that much. So, good in theory, tough in execution. What is up? Shifuli Love, and then Jay Poletsky. It says, why is it hard for me listening to Stephen Smith talk about anything related to MMA? What did I tell you? I told you don't do any of that. Just fast forward to where we are live. You are harming yourself by listening to Stephen A. Smith speak. I, the person in the future, went back in time to tell you not to do something. And you still caused Judgment Day. That's on you. I'd rather do the brakes on my wife's car then listen to Stephen A. Smith. I'm going to tell you, that sounds like a statement that will be brought up in a crime documentary later on Netflix. So I'm going to get a snapshot of that one. It says, it's not the best to interview the loser. It is always the same statement. Listen. Imagine having Stephen A. Smith as a next door neighbor. I do not, and I do not want to. No, thank you. I can tell you this. He's not somebody who knows our sport. I get what he does for other sports, but for our sport in particular, it's a really bad look to have someone that stupid speaking about. Like, they just show their ignorance toward what it is that we do. That would be obnoxious. All right, fight's about to start. Dane Donovan, don't waste any time. Just go straight to the live version because you'll be exactly at the fight starting right now. What are your thoughts on Bruce's jacket? It's okay? Does it look like fall through up on it? Okay. Mike Bell is there working as a judge. Or, I'm sorry. Yes, one of the judges, indeed. Okay. Well, friends, we have made it to the main event. My name is Rafa Esparza. Probably you know that by now. If you don't, that's okay. Welcome to the show. We have the main event fight. Bruce Buffer is exercising his lungs. We have a lot of people who seem to be thinking that Max Holloway is going to take this one away. We have one person who just kind of, I don't think they got bullied into it, but they just kind of like got drawn into going for one, Calvin Cater, which fine. It says Holloway has been in some wars, man. I am live right now. Will the Miles on Holloway show tonight? I don't know. I don't think so. We'll see. Could be wrong. It says, well, at least Bruce can give the intro to an audience. Yeah, he can. Yes, he can. What's up, Jason? Good to see you, bud. Hope you are having a good day. Speaking of which, on MMA Fighting, it seems like 75% of respondents are also going for one Blessed Express. So, we'll see how that one goes, but Bless looking very focused. Look at him. He's loving every second of Bruce introducing him. It says, so pumped for this fight. As are the people who are watching right now. I don't know, Cater. This is a hard pull for you, bud. Weird. Anik on the call is basically telling you to do some meditation before you start. Alright. Fight begins on mine. You have one of 5 rounds starting right in front of us. On my clock, it is 4:50. Hopefully, that is somewhere in the neighborhood of where you're watching. Feel free to throw me comments, questions, concerns, hints, allegations, all that good stuff as we are going along. I'll be happy to address anything you guys got, and maybe then some more. Very beginning of the fight, both gentlemen in the center of the octagon. You've got right now Cater wearing the blue trunks, Holloway in the black. Good kick by Holloway. Cater eats it, no big deal. Returns with a stiff jab of his own. Christopher James Velez has updated his viewing to say that second round KR with Cater winning. Bold. We'll see if that pays off. to begin, things looking very nice. What's up, Jake Green BJJ? Hopefully you are watching along with us right now. Nice 1-2 punch there by Max Holloway. He's already starting to just kind of show a little preview of what he might have here. Kidder blocking a number of those strikes. They're talking about the sparring that it seems that Max Holloway has been kind of leaning a little bit off of, and probably with good reason. I mean, dude, we had earlier one Dane Donovan talking about the extent to which you don't want to overexert yourself. You don't want to do those sorts of things when you've been in that many wars. So, yeah, I kind of see why you wouldn't want to do any hard sparring. You kind of get in there and you kind of remember how you fight when you have that many fights on your record. Two minutes, 30 seconds here. Holloway still looking very sharp. Audience seeming to come alive. That's nice. I mean, looking at the way that Holloway's putting in his form tonight, very sharp, very focused. And I like this. It says, geez, I owe Max 20 push-ups. He looks amazing. It looks really solid, man. That's the beautiful thing about it. Like, he's such a nice dude. He always seems like he's really got his shit together outside of the octagon, but there is a laser-like focus to the way that you see Max Holloway approaches fights. Though I will say, his face has dramatically changed over the years. Nice kick there. On over the shin. I think Holloway also has the experience of knowing what you can build on. Like the kind of strikes that may not make you feel at all anything early in the fight, but that start to wear on you in rounds 4 and 5. Looks like right now, just in the way he's varying it up too. Nice, real good body work here. And that's why when people were asking me who I thought had this fight, I was like, you know, I just see that Holloway's been so consistent about finding the shot and like really, really quickly getting out of there when he needs to. Right now, Holloway is 2-1, at least in terms of significant strikes, and there's still 30 seconds left in this first round.
Wow.
It says, Holloway's hands are great for someone who hasn't sparred. Yeah, I think part of that is just his experience. It just kind of takes over once he gets back in there. That is one of my favorite things to yell out, though, at least from the coaching perspective. He's desperate. He needs this. He doesn't know he's in a cage. One day there's going to be a supercut of the stupidest things people have said as cornermen. And I think you will be very impressed to see the number of people who yell out, "Believe!" or "Come on!" or "Want it more." Okay. Yes. It's all of those things. It says, more fighters need to scale back on gym wars. I like Max's approach. Extend that career just a little bit more. The hard part is like you almost have to have it up until a certain point. Like you have to develop a sense of having the ability to pull through during a dark time and knowing that you'll be okay. That seems to be the notes that a lot of fighters kind of tell me whenever we do interviews, is they say, no, you need someone to push you there. And then once you get there, you're good. Like, it's maintenance to that. And that's when you see people like Cerrone or a Holloway say, I don't have to spar as hard anymore. I've done those reps. I've already been there. I know I have it, but I would like to fight another 2, 3, 4, 5 years. And the only way that's going to be healthy to me is if I just scale the ridiculously dumb hard training there. Somebody just said, or you could be like Mike Perry's girlfriend, hit him in the face. Yes. To be fair, though, that is kind of the goal. So, you know, it is kind of good to get that reminder. What is up, Khalid FSM2? Thank you for joining us. Yeah, Max was warming up that first round. Okay, so we're, again, talking about the differences between the two. I didn't think there was anything particularly bad with Kattar, or that he's not a really good fighter. It's just Holloway has very good reaction times, even amongst some of his toughest of opponents. Even when we've seen him get the shit kicked out of him, they're still very compelling fights. Oof. Nice knee. And the way that he sets up the knee is so beautiful. Watch the way he's going to create this diagonal space whenever he wants to bring in the knee. He stuns him and then quickly sidesteps, finds the knee, ducks right back on out. Knocks him down very quickly. Up is Kattar. I get a note here that says it looks a little bit more like a slip. I mean, sure, you could potentially call that a little bit more of a slip than a knockdown, but it is kind of a convenient slipping at a time when someone punched him, so it's a little bit of columns A and B. Nice kick on over to those legs. That's the other thing that's kind of impressive about what Holloway's doing as well. He's mixing it up so well that you almost don't see the work that he's putting on Kattar's legs. Keep an eye on the amount of kicks that he's doing over to that knee. Starting to take out that lead leg. Again, it's the stuff that wears on you in rounds 4 and 5. Nice kick, nice setup, 1-2, very nice. That's the hard part is, every time Holloway looks like, ooh, that was a good one though. Kattar responds very good left and right now. And it still is a 2-1 in almost every respect aside from leg kicks. Also, all of Holloway's strikes to the body. What is up, Imran? We're talking a little bit about the frustration for Kattar on the broadcast. Maybe. I think if anything, you could say that he's frustrated. Sure, but he's done a little bit better probably in the last 2 minutes than he has the whole fight. And again, oof. Such control by Holloway, not rushing in, understanding he's putting in a lot of all-around work, diversifying how he's doing the strikes, now starting to get Kattar to swing and a miss. No! That elbow had to have hurt him. Kattar's now covered up a little bit more. Holloway's becoming a little more erratic and just unleashing on him. He fights his way out just a little bit, but he is on wobbly legs. And right back again. It seems like part of the strategy here. Another elbow. Woo! I mean, Holloway can do this forever. Now Kattar's starting to look a little bit more messed up in the face. Yeah, Kattar's face is becoming a mess. And this is not what you want to do if you're Max Holloway. Letting him kind of turn this into a grappling fest, or at least trying to take him down. You just transferred blood from one to another. Ugh. And I just saw over here that elbow. That elbow indeed. Producer wife Kelly not enjoying the blood show. Oof, Holloway, significant strikes, 50 in this round. Oh! Oh! And Cater was smiling as to say, like, that was fun. That didn't look fun. None of that looked fun. In fact, that looked the opposite of fun. Good lord. You know who didn't think that looked like fun? His corner. All of his corner now with a little bit more solemn expression. Like, are you okay? I wouldn't be okay if that was me, but ugh. Looks like the crowd is also seeing clips of highlights being played for their amusement. That is bad. Yes, understatement. Note here, this is one of the most ridiculous striking displays I have ever seen. Yes. Agree. Oh, please let them clean this cut up. Don't know that they will. Dude, Max looks better than ever. His pressure is insane. This is what I want to bring to your attention, which is I still don't think he looks remotely tired. So it's not just the pressure, it's now going to be the continuous volume that he's probably going to put on him in the fourth round with 1 to go. So he looked like he is on pace to continuously, I'm sorry, this is third of 5 rounds. My apologies. But the third of 5 rounds and his pace looks amazing. Cater's going to need a lot more to even things up. Or just survive. Let's just put it that way. I think that's probably step number 1. What's up, Russell? What's up, Zach? Thank you guys for joining. We're watching the main event, which so far has been an excellent display of striking and experience from the Blessed Express. 4:18 in the third round on my clock. And it just says here from Jordan Jitsu, he looks so goddamn relaxed. Yeah, dude. And a lot of these combinations that he throws would be enough to exhaust most of us in a Zoom class. But I gotta tell you, this is the type of shit where they've got power to them, and he's very calm and composed. Cater's right on the money, though, of anytime he needs to clinch up, using that as the ability to get him over the fence and start working a little bit more of tying him up with the attempt to get a takedown. That's a really good uppercut here by Cater, so he is not out of this, but he's got to switch things up. Because anytime he has that distance from Max, Max is able to really, really recalibrate and put things together. But look at this. Nice little momentum shift for Cater for a few split seconds. He's gotten a few excellent strikes, and right back to the game plan is one Max Holloway. Continuing to attack that lead leg. As DC is saying on the commentary, they're both landing their best shots. Oof. I mean, now it looks like Holloway's just even kind of suggesting, like, I might punch you with this. I didn't this time, but I might do it the next time. Ugh. Yep. Some of these are just so fucking impressive, dude. Cub Swanson says, I believe we are watching the best 145er on the planet. Nice crack there by Cater, though. Cater is fighting back a little bit. But look in terms of consistency. Yep, nice. Yeah, Holloway wants no part of the grappling exchange. He wants no part of this takedown exchange. It is in his best interest to keep it with the space, the distance that he has, utilize his reach, and his clear advantage on the striking. It says from Mike Bond earlier this week, Max Holloway told me that he wants to be the first fight in UFC history to land 10,000 career strikes. He might hit that mark at this rate. I mean, that's a good goal. It's not just that it's crisp, it's that it's very, very technical. Like, his reads as well. on Kattar's reach, staying out of danger. Like, again, maybe in this third round, keeping a look at his head movement. Looks like when the punch is about to hit his apex, he's able to very quickly move out of that range anytime Kattar tries to hit him. The percentage on significant strikes is 135 out of 338 in round 3. Jesus. Oof. Yep. Yeah. That's when you know you have very solid power. When your very light jab seems to create a little bit of a grimace on your opponent's face. Nice. Again, staying right out of range, cutting an angle, and then right quickly, backing out of it. Yep. Man. He looked at him as to warn him, like, that was good, but don't you dare connect with me on that. All right. End of round number 3. Here's what I want to tell you guys. So, fun story that was apparently told to media members in the past about Max Holloway. Max Holloway said, before ever fighting somebody like a Jose Aldo, he's like, do you know how I learned about Jose Aldo? I played the video game of the UFC, and I studied him on there. And once I did that, I was able to develop the combinations that would eventually lead me to beat somebody like a Jose Aldo.
Up, up, down, down.
Yes, up, down, down, indeed. It says, Mark Ramondi, Holloway out there like a man possessed. Absolutely. It says, Max is moving so smooth, that slips, I think you mean those slips were sick. Dude, it must feel like a long 5 minutes there for Kattar. It's been a long 15 minutes in there for Kattar. It's been a long 15 minutes for us just watching this. Guillaume, thank you very much for joining us. Hope you're having a great day. We're watching kind of an epic display of striking. Again, from Max Holloway, who goes into round 4 ahead on everybody's scorecard by 1,000,000 points. Can that change? Of course. Will it change? Ugh, not at this rate. What's up, Anthony? Good to see you, Arnold. Here's what the nice part is. We don't tend to have the commentary leading us on what we're saying here, but right now they're just gushing. There's nothing else to do but just say how impressive what Max Holloway is doing. So now, if I were Anik, would be a good time to talk about the frustration for Calvin Kattar. Because when you watch how he does put his combinations together, he'll whiff, and then there's that moment in his face after he misses that he's like, fuck, I'm about to eat 2 or 3 to the face, aren't I? And again, Kattar's face is, definitely looks like he's been in a horror film for a little bit. What is up, KJ Lund? Hopefully you are watching this epic Holloway and Kattar fight, if only to witness some excellence. Oh, it said no, my feed froze. No, that's not the time you need your feed to froze. Look at this. I can't wait to break this one down. All right, looking at the significant strikes, 110 for Holloway to 42 for Kattar on the head strikes. Oh, I think the body shots are now really starting to affect one Kattar. He is covering up, and now from all sides, Jesus. Holloway now putting it in, elbow strike right there. Kattar taking 2, 3 elbows, fights with an elbow of his own, and now Holloway has it all timed in. It is all instinctual coming out now for one Calvin Kattar, and you do have to understand Herb is watching it, but I think Herb might actually be too impressed to actually stop this shit. That is Dream Street. Yeah, he is wobbling. We are going to get a stoppage here in just 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, Herb Dean, I'm good. I would like to press the button, but he just struck back. It's just there's no form to the way he's striking back. He's just so trying to hope to connect, and he is connecting, but oh my god, this is tough to watch. Yeah, if there was a time for your feed to freeze, that might have been a good time, because watching the rest of this is now getting to the point where I don't think it is a competitive match in a safe space. Ugh, listen, dude. Anytime somebody gets hit with an elbow like that, I think we start taking off years on the life. So we're getting to that point where we're good here. Herb, you're gonna let this dude die. Ugh. Yeah. Alright, Herb. I think Max is now trying to do us a solid by taking him down, and he could not get the takedown there. That does speak to the resolve of one Cater. 224 strikes to 80 in the significant strike region. I mean, Cater's just not going down. He's just too tough. If I am his corner, I am severely thinking about throwing in a towel in between the rounds. You don't want your fighter taking that shit. There's no way you're going to win. I think we're good. It says, got to be so frustrating for Cater. He's still landing some hard shots there. And then just looks like he's eating shots. Oof. What a fucking masterclass here. I don't know how any of this is still happening. 30 seconds here. What is up, G? Ralphie. Oh, fuck. Leo Zapata. Forget my theory about Disney not allowing a bloodbath. Yup. Oh boy. Not looking good. That's the mouse. Yeah, okay. Here's what I'm going to tell you. The Eddie Gordo kick. Okay, guys. This is what you're going to do. Calvin Cater's corner. I implore you, and it does not look like they're in that space. Okay, they are not. What is up, MMA Marcelo, BJJ? Don't feel great about this. He's struggling. Yeah, he is struggling to make words. At this point, I wonder if there is a ref. No, he's standing up. That's a leading statement, John Anik, when you say he looks of sound peace and mind. No. As Christopher James Velez says, damn that nose. Yeah.
This isn't fight of the night. I don't know what is.
Yes, producer wife Kelly saying, this better be fight of the night. Fuck. UFC just tweeted out, knew you missed us. Ben Folks. Qatar's toughness and heart are just unreal. Just when you're feeling he needs to throw in the towel or have his corner throw in the towel, he fires back with something hard. Yes, true. Statistically, there is no win unless he gets a knockout here. So, somehow he does look like he has been revived back with a little bit of energy and a bounce to his step. So, that's, I guess, somewhat comforting. There's a part of me that wonders, though, if Max is like, yo, dude, I really don't want to hit you anymore, honestly. Like, this sucks. This is a part of the job that really actually sucks. We've seen Holloway take the foot off the pedal a number of the times throughout just for control reasons as to not overcommit to anything or blow any kind of gas tank. And it's a pacing thing that they tend to do. But now it just seems a little bit more out of, I don't really feel like killing a person. Oof. It says Holloway is landing at will. Yeah. Well, listen. Remember how somebody said you should interview the loser? Well, no. This is why we don't. This is... Yeah. Whew. Yeah. Vince Pichel says Holloway is making Cater look like the freshman here. This has been a very interesting thing to see. It says DC is saying that they should stop it. I've been saying they should stop it for a while. Numerically, you can't win, but you're hoping for a knockout in a fight where you have been barely able to walk. It says you've even got DC being a voice of reason. I know. I mean, if anything, did I hear 620 attempted strikes? Okay. Eesh. Well, back at the kicks, I do think you are seeing Holloway look at him like, yeah, I don't, bro, come on. He's talking to people outside. Like, come on, dude. What the fuck, bro? Now Holloway is saying, like, what? Like, trying to hit me? Oh my god. This is the most ridiculous thing. I mean, Holloway knows he's got all the rounds, and yet the last part of this is just the statement. It says Holloway on fire. Yeah. 59 seconds are left. Holloway still going to the body. Right back to the head. Points on over. That's like an extra opportunity. Oh, God. 45. 87 was the last amount of significant strikes. And the crowd is starting a Holloway chant. All 2,000 of them in there. All right. 24 seconds left on the clock, and then we could all kind of breathe again. These are the nice moments that remind you. Holloway nice. Holloway also a scary human being. Ben folks saying Holloway out here tempting the fight gods. And 2, 1. It says Holloway is still having full conversations while fighting. Wow. It'll be interesting to see what happens if people are watching MMA for the first time today.
Was he yelling at the other guy's corner?
I don't know. I felt like that was at Dana. It's at the corner. It looks like it. So, okay. We were trying to figure out who Holloway was speaking to in between rounds. The best theory we can come up with is he's speaking very passionately at DC. Though I don't think he doesn't like DC. I don't think it's like a DC said something bad about him on commentary in the past sort of a thing. I just think he's just aggressively letting him know, hey, like say something like I'm the best, man. And it said, wow, I was way off. Holloway looked great. Yeah. I think the more important question that Christopher James Velez posed that maybe we didn't get the chance to answer, which was, where is Holloway going? great question. Hopefully, this is on John Anik now. This is all him having to figure out what the fuck just happened there. Leo Zapata puts up a very real question, which is 50-43? Yeah, maybe 44. I don't. 53 sounds right. I'm okay with that. Ooh, 42 is the worst. Yeah. Congratulations are in order to Max Holloway. We'll do a cheers to him, but that was it. Okay. So perhaps my first instinct was not incorrect.
No, I think he was yelling for the 50K.
Right. When I said he was looking at Dana White and yelling at him, I think that was correct. Calvin Cater says, you got to kill me to get me out of there. I'm glad he's okay. We'll see what the doctors say a little bit later. Okay. Ben Folks brings up a good point, which is a 50-42 score in there. Not sure I've ever heard that, but I can't disagree. That was a whooping. Yes. Correct. Okay. Max Holloway basically did all the jobs in one. He somehow cut a very short post-fight speech in which he said, what's up, TJ? In which he said, hey, if anything fall off, put me in there. It's fine. Which, sure, I guess so. I think doctors might say something differently. DC is still shook in the octagon. He is not okay. They're going to have to put something in that man's drink to make him able to sleep tonight. I think his anxiety is going to be at an all-time high. Let's review what we've seen. Max Holloway, amazing fight. Destroys Calvin Cater for 5 rounds, to the point where one judge said 50-42, which is something, as Ben Folks said, I have not really seen in my time. So, very impressive, also warranted. But then says, if anything happens, bring me up, put me into that fight, or keep me in consideration as to what happens in the Dustin Poirier fight or a Conor McGregor fight. Looking like he might want to try to get either of those back, which I'm okay with too. That was an incredible display. I'm still highly, highly impressed at what he did out there today. If there was any kind of debut the UFC was looking to have on ABC, that was it. That was impressive. That was amazing. It's definitely one of the fights that will cement part of his legacy. So it said, TJ Kelly, I don't think I've ever seen a 42 score. Correct. 50-42, Bill Oswald. Wow. Yes. Why? What was that? They didn't ask more questions to Max. You know, he didn't seem like he wanted to take any. He had somewhere to be. Blessed Express had to leave the station. And it says, what's that scoring mean? I mean, it just means, yikes, ouch, bad things happen to Cater. But that was a pretty impressive way to make a debut for the UFC. I'm pretty sure that the ABC brass will be very, very pleased with what they saw here today. So let's close it up like this. let's go ahead and tell you guys the next guest that we have, which is going to be one Andrew Tackett. We're going to speak to the youngest of the Tacketts. Well, actually, I think he's the middle child. But he made an impressive performance over at Third Coast Grappling. We'll ask him about the weirdness that was his sub-only no time limit match that turned into a some time limit match. And very, very, very pleased to get that going. And it says, yeah, are you going to tell him, hey, you can't leave? I won. Dude, he was perfectly fine saying, like, yo, it is what it is. I got to go. So that's kind of where he went. TJ Kelly even asks, it says, they were scared Max would beat them up just as bad. That's why they didn't ask any more questions. Possibly. I mean, Anik, I don't think has hands unless I've been told differently. And even so, I don't think he wants to test him against that. Max looked possessed tonight, dude. So I think you're all probably in the right shade of being correct. Anyway, tomorrow we'll do an interview with Andrew Tackett. Will remain to be seen if we'll do that one live or if we'll put that one up on Tuesday. Kind of keep up to date on what we're doing. You guys can also follow us at any of these spaces right here. That is at Grappling Hour, at Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, Twitch, and then Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And if you would be so kind, give us a 5-star review over on the Apple Podcast page. It helps us get more people. And also, it wouldn't kill you to follow us on all those pages at Verbal Tapcast. I see a note here that says, cheers, Raph. Well, I actually have to give a cheers and a toast on out to one, Max Holloway. This cheers goes on out to Blessed Express himself. Holy shit. You have all of us shook. That was an incredible performance. I don't think we've really ever seen anything quite like that. It was an incredible way to debut on ABC, and you could have whatever fight you want, bro. I don't even care. I just want to say cheers to you. Normally we do cheers for people who get finishes within fights. I felt like you finished that fight a couple times. They just didn't give it to you. But, man, the fact that we got to see 25 minutes of true striking at its best. Cheers to you, bud. Wow.
Part also deserves a cheers for not dying.
Oh, producer wife Kelly brings up a good point, which is this cheers goes on out to Calvin Cater. Thank you for not dying. We were very concerned. There's footage of it. You can watch me the past 30 minutes, just basically hoping you're okay. You seemed okay in the post-press. We're still going to be rooting for you. Take some time. Come back. We're already looking forward to your next fight. You brick of a human being. Cheers. TJ Kelly says, love your channel, man. Happy to be here with most of the fights. Can't wait for the McGregor one. Cheers, my friends. Well, cheers to you, TJ. We're going to be back next week for the UFC 257. We're going to do a panel show for that one. We'll bring some friends in. We'll drink some beers. It'll be at a normal person time, so that I'm not waking up at 9 a.m. going, am I drinking this morning? Is that what an alcoholic says?
Are you sure?
I shouldn't drink in the morning. Should I? I don't know. Anyway, it has been a blast chatting with you guys. Catch up with us on Verbal Tap. We're going to have another installment of Over Under Kevin with, I guess I could say the guest name. Richard Alarcon, a.k.a. Red Jitsu, is going to be taking on Kevin's picks. We'll probably record that one tomorrow. It'll be a lot of fun. Check out Andrew Tackett on the next installment of Grappling Hour. And until then, it's been a great day for grappling. My name's Rafa Esparza. We'll see you back on the mats. Eventually.